birthday.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, so Scott is joining us. You guys may have seen him before.
I've been around.
There's
You
Tyler.
had longer hair last time, I think, right?
I did. I realized I was looking a little too dark brownish, so I went ahead and cut it back off.
All right.
Well, Josh is on vacation visiting his family, so
Cool.
I was like, "Hey, Scott, want to join us?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!"
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
So we get some variety. I like your background with the
big
horn
fireplace.
The fire.
and-
Listen,
That
when
is
you're in
solid.
South Florida, I need to do everything I can to get a sense of season. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just sunny and 80 nonstop. So trying to make it cozy.
Nice. My voice is a little bit hoarse because of the opiates are, like dry you out and give you cotton mouth. So
Good
Um,
times.
Yeah.
and just to be clear, I'm not just taking them recreationally. So if you didn't know, I had my vasectomy yesterday, and that's why I'm saying this is definitely going to get demonetized because I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of jokes. And also, YouTube's really, really fickle if you talk anything about drugs, even if it's like legal, proper use of them, they don't like it.
Interesting.
So just saying that I'm taking opiates is probably going to get us demonetized right there.
Well,
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, Hugh asked how the twig and berries was. That probably is okay, right?
I mean, like I said, yeah.
The meat and
So-
potatoes.
The twig's fine. There's no effect on the twig.
Thank God.
Right. Yeah. 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 I don't. So it's funny because it's not as bad as you think, but it is certainly uncomfortable and there is definitely some pain involved. But like, it's you hear so many different opinions on it, like some people are like, oh my God, it was super painful and blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't do anything for like a week. And other people are like, oh, I was fine. And I was walking around the next day. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what to expect. Right. So far I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I'm definitely glad I have painkillers to help
Yep.
because I wouldn't want to not. Huh?
Yeah.
Don't do any squats.
No, that's like any sort of like bending over or whatever. You gotta be super careful and just
has Ash got you yet?
no. I've been like
Good.
I've been staying. I actually slept in the guest bed last night, and
Well,
I'm doing it again tonight because he'll sneak in at like 4 a.m. and he literally just catapults onto me. So there's like
Like a dog, right?
90% chance that he'll just like land right on my balls, and so I was just like, nah, it's not even worth the risk. Like, so
Wow.
I love it.
Anyway, so I'm sure y'all want to hear all about my balls. So
It goes without saying.
yeah.
So can you drive yet? Do they say don't drive? Because
I mean, mostly because I'm on the opiates, no.
right.
But if I wasn't, I think you could.
Yeah.
They actually, so they gave me two options. One, you can have Valium to kind of like chill you out. Or you could have nitrous oxide. Can't have both, only one or the other. And when I did my LASIK surgery, they gave me benzos and they didn't do anything. Like I did not. So I don't know if like it was too small of a dose for me or if my body just doesn't react to them in the same way as a lot of people. So I was like, don't do the Valium because it's not going to work. So let's do the nitrous. And if you do the nitrous, they said you could actually drive home because it clears your system so fast.
Okay.
But admittedly, I don't know if you would want to because like if you like had to like jam on the brake pedal or something like that, that could
Yeah.
You won't be driving the Testarossa home from that one.
definitely not driving no 3-pedal cars and certainly not one with a stiff clutch like a Testarossa. Hell no. You would that would suck. So does that mean I have to turn in my man card Or if you're a Ferrari, if your Ferrari nullifies it, no.
He gets the new color man card. You know, the
Right,
safe.
Testarosa's close to Testes.
That's true.
Yeah.
There you go.
On a different note, how difficult to change a leaking AC evaporator in a 360? I actually don't know if I've ever had to change one on a 360, so I don't know.
Where would that be in the car? Up front?
Isn't the evaporator in the dash? So it's probably going to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I'm going to go with not fun.
Yeah. Do you need leather work done at the same time? Because now's the time.
Yeah, right. That's
true.
usually actually that's what like Stu had his dash redone. So he like had the entire AC system replaced.
Oh.
Yeah, might as
Like-
well.
Yeah, especially on like while you're in there, especially on like older cars like a 360, you know, it's getting to that age where some of that stuff could go out, and if it does, like, all right.
How's your AC blow, Scott?
Flawless. I'm actually really surprised. It blows as hard as any modern car that I've had recently, which was something I was concerned about being down here. But I'm happy to say I better knock on some wood for real.
Nice. Yeah.
How about yours?
Yeah, mine's perfect too. The only
Yeah.
issue is the knob fell off. So it like cracked, it disintegrated.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know if I need to order a new one or just
you might not be able to get just the knob.
yeah.
So-
You always want it to blow so hard the knob falls off. That's
Right.
Well, it's
You know,
the acceleration that gets it.
When I was
Yeah,
looking
dude.
for mine, I saw a good handful of 360s with the knob missing. So
Yeah.
Oh.
it's obviously a
And it looked like it had been
Pretty.
repaired before, like someone tried to glue it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was small.
Reach out to Fur Parts; they might be able to get
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
'Cause, you
Mike,
know, they have-
Mike checks Instagram a lot. Just message him there. And
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, or just email Doug.
Yeah.
Mike or Doug.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so back from vacation, already busy, and then Josh takes off and until before he takes off, he's like, hey, our building got whacked by a car, and
Yeah.
What's the
Crazy.
story?
and I feel bad for the dude who did it. So it wasn't neither, you know, it wasn't Josh or I. Obviously, it wasn't me. I was around. The dude, you know, feels really bad about it and everything. So I mean, you know,
Shit
shit
happens.
happens.
yeah. That's what insurance
So-
is for.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that expensive. I mean, it's going to be a couple $1,000s, is my guess, just because of the labor. Like
Yeah.
the materials are going to be cheap, but it's like, dang it, like that's the problem with the spray foam
Yeah.
being on those panels is now we're gonna have to like cut the spray foam out and remove the entire panel and then respray foam that whole section.
I mean, I don't know what's in between there, but could you not do just fiberglass bats once the walls are fixed?
No, because you gotta hang the bat behind the
Yeah.
beams,
Yeah.
and so you can't really do it.
You could get your own DIY spray foam. I'm not talking about just the cans, but like
Yeah, they got big kits that can
big
do,
kits.
but it's one of those, I don't want to mess with that crap. I'd rather have someone who knows what they're
Yeah.
doing do it.
At least you don't have to
Um,
repaint it since you're putting the inside panels back.
Well, the inside we won't have to repaint. The outside is painted.
Well, I mean, the spray
Yeah,
foam because you painted it first, right?
Right. Yeah. We painted the spray foam and then we realized we didn't have to. So
Yeah.
yeah, they'll definitely save a little bit. I don't want to say what model Ferrari because I don't want anyone figuring out who it is because I feel bad for the guy and I don't want him to feel any pressure or whatever. Like, you know, it was a legit accident. Like, you know, I even felt really bad about just even mentioning that this happened. You know, I was like, do I even do this? But it's like, it's too, you know, like just
yeah,
have to because the
I'm not
too
sure.
on brand for your whole thing.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
I'm
one of
not
those
sure.
things where, especially like the fact that it was a Ferrari, it's like, okay, I have to, you know, it's like, all right.
I'm not sure you can find too many buildings that cars come in and out of that have not been hit in some way.
True.
You know,
Oh, the building already has other creases in it, but this one's definitely the biggest.
Rusty's fallen on the sword for us here.
Oh man. Yeah, thankfully the dude wasn't drinking as far as I'm aware.
Nice.
Oh,
Allegedly.
as long as we're talking about so on Tuesday, the temple dude came over again. So he
He's
came
back.
over and he wanted to use our Wi-Fi again. And
Oh, no.
so like he walks up and he's like, oh, Wi-Fi. And I'm like, it's one of those where like two things. One, I'm paying for Wi-Fi. I'm not gonna let you get it for free. Like, no. Number two, I don't know what you're doing, and I don't want to be blamed for anything.
Let the dude from the temple use it.
I don't want him to be doing something crazy with
No
it.
P.
and
Diddy
then
parties. Yeah.
It comes back to us, right?
Mhm.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I had previously. So I'm a bit of a jerk here. I went into our router and basically blocked his
Yeah.
device. So he came back and it was already connected to our Wi-Fi. It just was blocked.
Yes.
So he's all like, "Oh, it's it's Wi-Fi." And I'm like, I don't know. I was like playing dumb, right? I'm like, I don't know. It says connected. I can't help you, bro.
And this guy.
I mean, well, he doesn't
You
know
got a
that.
new phone, and then you have to do this all over again.
It's hard to
true.
have sympathy for him at this point. The
No,
amount of
like-
times he's crossed the line,
Yeah.
literally,
Well, I mean, it's just it's been a completely one-way street.
it's been a leech.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's like he's gotten so much free crap from us, and like never even so much as offered like a beer or something. Like I mean, at least I don't know. Anyway,
Bring an
not that I-
offering. Yeah.
yeah, something, right? Like, come on, man. Like, anyway. Dance through the temple dude into the wall. That's actually what really, yeah,
Yeah. That's about
that's what
5,
really
6
happened.
feet. Yeah.
Oh man, 2 donkeys and a camel for your Wi-Fi password.
That's a hell of a
Oh,
deal
Lord.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure your surgeon has his glasses on. Thankfully, he did have glasses. Yeah, and he did wear them, so that's
Nice.
good. I was a little bit sad because for those of you not in the Austin area, there's an ongoing joke that was real, which is there was a Dr. Richard Chop
Yep.
who was, and he did vasectomies, and like that was the whole thing. Is like he actually had T-shirts that would say "I got chopped by Dr. Dick Chop,"
Dick Chalk.
and anyway, he retired, so I did not go to Richard Chop.
Aw.
I can confirm. I had Dick Chop's number down when I lived in Austin too.
He was one of the top 3.
How could you not go to a guy named Dick Chop?
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you were born for that.
He was born to it, right?
I mean, you go into med school and they're just like, "What's your name?" "Oh, we know what you're doing."
Yeah. You're gonna be a
Get to
urologist,
the
right?
front of the line.
Yeah, exactly. Which, can I just say this? When you're in the like the check-in, whatever, the waiting area, I was the youngest person there by a factor of at least 50 years.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's all these old dudes who are having probably like prostate issues and whatever, and then me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I was
Think
like, "Oh
you didn't
Lord,
fake commiserate with them? Like,
no."
yeah, it takes forever to pee. Ugh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But and dude, so Meg took off the afternoon from work to drive me and all that stuff, and we made arrangements and everything. And on the way to the appointment, I got a phone call when we were like 5 minutes away, and I didn't answer it. And then we get into the place, we're checking in, and she goes, "Oh, I just called you. We're gonna have to reschedule." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, the doctor's still in surgery for another surgery, and he's not going to be here, and so you're going to have to reschedule for another day."
God.
I'm like, "I just drove an hour to get here. Can't we just wait?" And they're like, "Oh, it's going to be at least an hour." I'm like, "I'll wait an hour. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, And so like, she was like trying to like make it reschedule and not like putting any effort into like trying to make it happen today. And also the other person working the front desk was like, "Oh, we can get you in today." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, that's the right attitude." So they made it happen.
Wow. Yeah.
God. So cars.
There it is. 16 minutes, Hugh. I think that's a record.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, he does probably like balls. So, I mean,
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
Shots fired.
Yeah. I bought 2 cars at auction yesterday. One
On
we've already
opiates or before?
during.
Oh.
This ought to be good.
Yeah. Well, I bought my first Ferrari when I was on opiates for my back surgery.
Yep.
Okay.
So
430 was the drug
so that's where
purchase.
this whole thing started because of my back
You make
surgery.
really good decisions on drugs.
I make great decisions when I'm high on opiates.
So drugs are good. That's the message.
Uh,
Drugs
Yeah.
are great for
I
you.
mean,
and there's demonetization officially.
oh, definitely.
Sorry, Dan.
Everyone should use opiates and buy Ferraris. I mean, it's a great idea.
Buy
but,
them,
yeah.
buy them.
So I think like all the dealers were like gone this week because the auctions were really like dead. Barely, like anyway. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna try and get a couple cars. I actually bid on like 6 or 7 cars, which usually we don't bid on hardly anything because there's no point. Like they don't even come close. And there was quite a few that I was like, oh crap, I'll be able to get this, and they just went like a little bit too much, and I'm like, eh. But we got another GT500.
Nice.
So that's
Nice.
I really like that car. Really like it. And this one actually has less miles than the other one. So I was like, all right.
What color?
Blue
Ooh.
with black stripes.
Black stripe.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
It looks sick.
Yeah.
So the other car, I don't know. I kind of don't want to tell you guys because it's way out in left field. And I love these cars, so I don't know.
Dodge Neon.
No, the SRTs are cool, actually.
No, you said you loved it, so it's an F type. 100%.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, I really did enjoy the F-Type.
Yeah. No, not yours. It was a piece of shit. But
What Hoovie auction?
oh, you said you got 2 cars from Hoovie, so.
No. I got 2 cars at auction.
Oh, or sorry, you got cars. Hoovie wants to do a deal or something. You said.
Well, that was in
a
that video we were talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, Hoovie texted me and offered 2 cars.
Oh yeah, and then you went off camera. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't agreed to buy them at this point. One of them I'm confident we would do okay on. The other one I'm not so sure about. And so and I know it's like he's not making any money, he's not losing any money. So it's like I can't beat him up over it because I would probably sell it for about the same price too. But the problem is like at that price, like
Yeah.
it's one of those where it's too high of a risk. Like we're just like probably not. So oh well. Oh, and the 6-wheel Jeep, yeah, they're still working on it. No updates yet. So
I was wondering where that went.
yeah, it's at the shop in around the corner. No, I could pretty much guarantee would probably never have another 456.
I just saw a video of one today crashing, just like spinning out on the. Wait, actually, they didn't crash. They were driving on the highway, and he did a full 360.
Ooh.
Oh, and at 456?
It looked like the guy didn't know how to drive or was intentionally trying to crash it. It was one of those
Jeez.
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
stupid
I would
videos on
intentionally try and
Instagram.
crash it.
Like he went into a spin, stopped, kept going, and then spun again or something.
Weird.
Yeah.
Opiates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Those
answer for
so
everything.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as we're like getting demonetized, just like lean into it.
Yeah.
Are 458s ugly? I mean, depends who you ask.
What a question.
I'm gonna go with most people say no.
No.
No,
But
I think parts are starting to age finally, but it's what 15 years old. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
good. So
it's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's got the more angular body, so like it's like traditional Ferrari curves are gone,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the first real angular Ferrari. So there's people who are like, oh, it's too angular, I don't like that look, and I prefer 430s and older because they all kind of have flowy, curved lines. But
yeah, it's also less angular than the modern stuff. So.
Right. It's not quite as like punching in the face as like a C8, where it's like every angle is like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
It's only like, I swear to God, it's like everyone wants to do that now. It's like everything's like harsh angles, whatever. I'm like, can we go back to flowing lines?
Sleek, elegant, flowing lines. Yeah.
Yeah. I missed that.
They went
I know,
lower
like,
drag coefficients, which is
That's the problem. Is it's all about performance and
Crazy.
zero about looks.
That's actually why for years, Dan tried to convince me to get a 430, but I wanted the 360 just because it was a little bit more swoopy than the 430 was. And they're so similar, but it was just that much more.
And if you
could
could afford,
60s,
if you could afford both, but you like the look of one over the other, then that's, because both of them aren't that fast anymore, compared to modern stuff. So it's like, and they both have a lot of the same problems. So it's not, the only thing, I guess the only other factor is, of course, there is more maintenance on a 360 because of the timing belt.
Yeah.
Timing belts and the heat exchanger. That's like the two things that go wrong on 360s that don't on the 430s, but everything else is basically the same. So, asking for updates on your car?
Yeah, it's a good question. So,
oh yeah, you do have a story.
Yeah, and I didn't even tell you some of this just so that you get honest reaction.
Okay.
So
more stuff then.
Yeah. Took the car to Ferrari of Austin. They had it for 10, 12 days, something like that. The first thing they found was that one of the spark plugs was cracked in half.
Yeah.
So when they pulled, like they had not a stored code, but a pending code for cylinder misfire.
Mm-hmm.
So when they pulled the boot, because they're just going to swap, plugs and coils, and just see if it'll move cylinders. They pulled the boot, and half the spark plug came with it, and the other half stayed in the engine. So it's like, okay, well, there's your problem, and it would make sense because it happened going over a large bump, like an expansion joint, to a bridge on a highway, right? So vertical load. Jump.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this is probably it. So changed out those. They couldn't reproduce anything else. So James calls me and he's like, hey, car's ready. Come get it. I'm like, all right, I'll come tomorrow morning. So they washed the car, put it away. Wednesday morning, this was like 3 weeks ago. Wednesday morning, he calls me on my way. I'm already in the Uber driving down there, and he's like, hey, so the car's freaking out, so don't come.
Just like your day, Dan, at the doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was the camera. Whoever said that in chat a month ago or whatever, it was the rear camera is bad. Just unplugged, it's fine. So water can hit the connectors, it doesn't care, but whatever water getting into the camera screws it up.
Oh, it's probably because then it actually gets on the CAN bus, right?
Yeah, it gets on the CAN bus and then screws stuff around, like all the computers up and brings it out. So Ferrari Nashville, who I bought the car from, or Prancing Horse Nashville, whatever they call themselves, they've paid me back for the spark plugs.
Hi.
So that was no cost to me. Hey, bud.
Sorry, Tyler. There's
there's
VIP just that.
Sorry,
more important things.
Normally I pick them up, but can't risk that.
Tyler's talking about his spark plugs. Come listen.
But here, do you want a packet?
Packet.
Well, come here then.
Okay, go get a packet.
What a cutie.
Give your dad a high five in the lap.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was like half nervous right there. I was like, okay,
sit in your eyes.
Because usually he like crawls right in my lap. I'm like, not today, Bo.
Yep. So Nashville's paying me back for the spark plugs. So it's no cost to me, and they're figuring out like what they want to do with the camera. But he's like, we'll take care of it. So
that's really good.
Yeah. So
Best-
it pops on them.
Yeah.
That's. But
So
to be
when-
fair, it did have some indications of the ignition coil issue, the spark plug issue, before you bought it. Because didn't you say
Not-
it had a check engine light or something?
Well, no, it did the electronics freak out where it pretended the battery was dead and dropped the windows while driving.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it didn't go as far as it did when I was here.
So it was
Or had the car
exhibiting
yet.
some symptoms though prior.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
why they're like, we'll take care of it because
Yeah,
it was doing it before you bought it.
Yeah.
So at least that's one thing. Like if you have a car that's exhibiting issues and they think they resolve it and then they sell it and it's not resolved, that's one thing. But like if Ed started doing it after you bought it, then it's like, okay, they didn't, but
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
So
wouldn't
you
have to
have-
honor anything.
right.
you have it back, and then you're gonna send it down to Nashville.
Well, so it
Go
depends
home.
on what they come back with on the cameras.
oh, they still have it, Austin.
Yeah. Oh no, I have the car. It's drivable. It just
Okay.
there's no rear camera. So you put it in reverse and the screen goes black.
Yeah.
It doesn't care. There's no warning lights or
At
anything.
least it doesn't freak out.
Yeah, it doesn't freak out. You can wash it. It's fine. You can drive in the rain. It's fine. So yeah,
Well, that's
all
a
good.
relief
Yeah.
that they're working with you, because if they're not working with you, that's so
Well, those
stressful.
cameras are expensive.
I know.
Oh, the
Like how many
Ferrari,
tens of thousands am I going to be in the hole?
Yeah, right.
Ferrari, they quoted me $4,500 to replace the camera.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
That's why I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that shit.
Yeah, I would just disable it for that much
Yeah.
money.
Just hang your ass out like a Countach.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I told the sales guy at Nashville. I was like, hey, at least it's make me better at using the mirrors in this car.
True.
That's true.
So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
For
I
parts,
like
oh yeah.
nice.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
For parts was like, we got used ones for $850.
Oh,
So like, well, worst case, I'll do that. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you which cars Hoobie's trying to sell to me, because in case we do buy them, or like I don't know if he wants people to know that they're for sale. Like that was the thing, is they're not on the market. So out of respect to him, I don't want to say what cars it is.
Pocket listing.
Right. Well, like if you call someone directly and ask them to buy your car, they are doing that for a reason. They're not putting it on the market. So,
Yep.
Dan, was the first time you met Hoovie in California at the Concourse? Was that the first time you met?
I believe so. No,
When he's
I can't remember if it was in Monterey or if I went to his house first. I think I went to his house first because I think we bought a car from him or something first. I can't remember now, but whatever.
cool.
Yeah.
Hugh, I'm a longtime friend of Dan's. I've been in and out of videos for I don't know, a few years.
Yeah.
I'm the go look at this car in South Florida guy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you broke the Cario story, right?
Actually, yeah, he did some snooping for us about Cario.
I did do that, right? That was in my private investigator days, and I may be mistaken, but I think I went and picked up Gabe's car from the
You
guy.
did.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you had said you had looked at it. Oh, you picked it up.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's at his house.
I drove it from Fort Lauderdale here, and it was the best thing that ever happened, Gabe, because my wife, who was completely, indifferent about buying a car, she didn't want it. When she saw that car parked in the driveway, she was like, "I want
There
Nice.
that! I want that!" So
you go.
it really opened the door for me to get one. So thank you for that.
Nice. And that was the first time you had it in your inventory, Dan, right? Because you had it and then you sold it, and then that person got it converted.
Correct. And then the crazy thing is, after they got converted, they never even drove it or saw it.
They didn't want to see it, right? Which was weird. 'Cause they're-
So they got so soured on it because EAG drug out the conversion for 6+ months or whatever, that they were just like, screw this, get rid of it.
okay.
But they had done tons of work to it.
Oh, they did 35 grand of work
Yeah.
of just, well, no, 35 was it was 60 total with the conversion and all the work that they did. So, and I mean, it is a good tight car.
Yeah.
I haven't.
No,
I've
I mean,
had a
by
few
the
like
time you got it,
electrical.
it was like new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Josh, like crawling under the thing, taking pictures, and trying to relay its condition back when they were trying to make the deal. It was a real fun time.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's
You literally just missed this.
Yep.
You just
I just typed it out. You're like, you're on delay.
yeah. Where was that? Someone was mentioning what's up with Carrie. Oh, there it is. You know, I don't know. I don't want to speculate because everything I'd speculate would probably get me in trouble.
Yep.
But I'll just put it this way. Every time stuff like that happens, I think it doesn't make any sense. It probably doesn't make any sense.
that's a fair
Yeah.
observation.
I can't show my face there. He even commented about me when he made his rebuttal video. Remember, he was like, "I know your friend Scott came in and took some video," and
Yeah.
my wife and I were like filming and then sticking the camera down, so they wouldn't see us.
Here you go, Tyler. Follow up.
Honestly, work's been so dang busy. I haven't had a whole lot of time to drive it, but it's more engaging from the fact that you feel all the shifts, especially in race mode. Like it kicks you in the butt. Not as bad as a Scud, but like it feels like an older school car. And I don't know, the inside's just much nicer. Like the leather smell, quality. I don't know, it feels like a different experience than at least the 650. I don't want to speak for all McLarens. But.
Yeah. That Italian leather.
I will say this. They do buy a lot of cars. Like when you're watching the wholesale auctions, it's like a joke in the supercar community on the auctions, because like if there's a smoldering turd that's up for auction, you know who's bidding on it.
I've seen it around you guys. I could go to lunch, like, oh, Carrio's bidding on this. Must be a piece of shit.
Seriously. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. The funny thing is when we published those videos about Carrio, I had probably about 30 to 40 people email me or contact me with horror stories. And it's just like, geez, man. Like, and the crappy thing is they're all like, you got to help me. You got to help me. And I'm like, I'm not a lawyer. Like you have legit lawyer problems. Like you need to hire people to help you. I'm a YouTuber. What do you want me to do? So unfortunately, I can't be this like vigilante, go flog all the bad dealer guy.
Are they still doing shady stuff? Or allegedly, seemingly?
I still get emails from people that have been in bad situations with them.
Okay.
Regularly.
I mean, I literally, I don't know what, I haven't been keeping up with that. For all I know, they could be out of business.
Yeah.
No, they're definitely not. They're
still there. They have a massive place. It's in Fort Lauderdale to the person.
Yeah. So anytime facilities get that big, I always start thinking about the math behind it. And in the exotic car world, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That was the thing about CNC Motors. When you saw the size of that facility and how much it must have cost just to own that building and employ that many people and all that stuff, you're like thinking to yourself, they have to sell like 15, 20 cars a month just to pay their nut, just to, cover everything. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like there aren't that many people buying these cars. So
yeah,
it's strange.
And it's not like a industrial, girder tin building. It's marble floors, glass walls.
That building was beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. You could write an article on that.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about it in a generic sense of like anytime there's a gut feeling, trust your gut. Like we do that all the time. Like, if you're dealing with some dealer or whatever, and there's just like, you're like, something's not right. Something's not right. It's like, walk away, man. Because it's probably not right.
Yeah. Well, even look at the big like name brand dealers where they've got a general manager, an assistant manager, 1 or 2 salespeople, an office manager,
The finance
a
person.
receptionist, a finance person, and then the only people actually making money on a regular basis are the whole service side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
man, like the math there is just so crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. And well, like what always makes my mind blown is like when you talk about like normal cars, like a Toyota or Ford dealership, their margins are small.
Yep.
Like they're only making like maybe 1 or 2 grand on each car. And I'm thinking, how many, like you got to sell so many cars.
Yeah.
Just to
Well,
make any real money.
I know this to be true with Ford, but that's why like being a president's level dealer or whatever makes more of a difference, because Ford actually pays dealers back a percentage on the sale price, depending on their rating. So if they're a president's level dealer, they'll get 4% back versus 2% for a regular bullshit, low volume dealer. Like,
well, and also they make a ton of money on the financing.
Yeah. That too. Yeah.
Like I remember this was back before the 2008 bust. I remember something about like there was this article I read. It was like GM is not a car company; they are a financing company.
Yeah,
like they make all of their profit.
Like McDonald's is the real estate company, right?
Yeah, McDonald's is a real estate company. It's crazy. Like they don't. I mean, how many cheeseburgers can? Well, of course, now with their current prices, they're actually making profit again on the burgers because they have a cheeseburger that's this big and it costs like $3 now, and you're like, what the hell is that?
Yep.
So, Josh is not here.
He's talking to me.
Gabe. Okay, Gabe.
No, I haven't touched it. I probably the next major.
Yeah.
I'll have it replaced, which will be.
Did we ever figure out if it was changed when they did all that work?
I never heard anything about it.
Because you got a bunch of receipts, right?
From EAG. It was not changed in that work.
Okay.
I think I'd remember.
Yeah, then I would change it next time, just precaution.
Yeah. I may do a major next year preemptively. It'll be 3 years.
No.
Yeah, don't.
No.
At least 26, right?
Check. So look for oil leaks. Like get under the car.
I do that every day.
Well, pull off the bottom panel and look around the timing belt.
Yeah.
If there's no oil or coolant leaks, because that's what kills those belts is they'll have a cam seal leak. It drips oil right into the belt, and then the belt goes bad.
Okay.
So if you know, generally speaking, the belts actually are, especially the newer, they switch to Kevlar belts and stuff. So these are really,
I think the car was serviced at Ferrari for a while. So I'd imagine they would have changed it in 20 years.
Yeah.
The heat exchanger.
Probably at least once.
Do you know that on yours?
I'm sorry.
Do you know on yours if the heat exchanger, if it's been replaced?
It has not been.
Okay.
It hasn't. But that was the one thing I needed to check in person to make sure the thing was intact. So I went all the way up to, I took a train all the way up to Orlando for that, just so I can do the oil check and, oil and coolant check.
Yeah.
It has me a little rattled because I would have much rather seen it in the service records, but the rest of the car has been so well maintained that.
Is that something where like the new part doesn't fail as often, or is it just every 10 years you just got to do it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of like the coolant it just gets corrosive and burns out and rusts the heat exchanger. And so over time, it's going to fail.
Yeah. Okay.
So the thing is, if the car has old coolant, like if they didn't change the coolant when they did the major, then that's a problem because then it's sitting there with even older coolant, that might have more water in it than.
Yeah. I do need to change that. I mean, they change it in the conversion, but I do need to flush that next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you do the major, you should change out the coolant, or at least the vast majority of the coolant. So. But yeah, it sucks because it's not a cheap part. It's like I think it's like $700 or $800.
The heat exchanger.
Yeah, and then to get to it, unfortunately, it's like you got to pull off the damn intake manifold and
the whole top half.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So
Britt,
That-
I have an F1 Rosa Corsa with black interior. I've seen a couple people ask, so I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hasn't been converted yet, but that's around the corner.
I would say it's not necessarily one of the biggest issues. It's just when it does fail, it can be extremely problematic because when the heat exchanger fails, the transmission oil and the coolant start swapping,
Mm-hmm.
and so you end up with oil in your coolant and a milkshake in your transmission, and you can end up grenading the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so
No one
to
wants
fix
that.
it, like if that starts to happen, you have to flush the oil out of the transmission over and over and over, which, each of those gallons of gearbox fluid is like 50, $60. And you're talking like 10, 15, 20 gallons. So you're right there is like, potentially $1,000 just in oil,
Jeez.
plus the labor to do it. And then
You guys
you still got to do the coolant.
Wow.
So then you got to flush the coolant over and over and over. And you
How
have
are
to
you- How are you flushing the transaxle fluid? Are you're just filling it up, running the car, and then draining it?
you fill it up, you get it to turn over the gears, and then you drain it, and then you fill it up and you turn
Okay.
the gears and drain it, and do it over and over and over
Yeah, you
until
did that.
until there's no signs of any coolant left.
You did that in Josh's garage, right?
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, I remember that video.
That was awful.
Right.
But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things. It's not even that super common, but it does happen. It's just a lot. I think most people know about this, and so they proactively change out the heat exchanger now. So it probably happens less now than it did back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. We made our profits on service and parts, not on the sale of cars. Yeah. It's
So that you're incentivized to sell a piece of shit car.
Unfortunately.
yeah, right. That's the problem. It is kind of true. It's funny because now that we've selected to buy some normal-ish cars and normal sports cars, we like you have to recalibrate mentally because the margin's just small. And so, like when we sold that first Corvette, it was like we only made like $1,000, maybe $2,000, right? And we're like, oh, but the car only cost like 30 grand. So it's like, okay, so it's percentage wise pretty decent, but it's just such a small amount of money. And it's funny because it's basically the same amount of work.
Yep.
Like, it's tough.
Right.
But yeah. What else is going on? Ferrari can't exchange heat for shit. Got it.
Hugh just has a long checklist of things about Ferraris.
Yeah.
Needs
Can't watch them.
every reason he can get.
Don't push it too far because I'll go into my tirade about Porsches again.
Oh yeah.
I actually have thought about. I almost made a video about this, and I was like, do I want to really piss off everyone that much? But I wanted to make a video talking about how every single Porsche we've sold, we've had issues with in the post sale.
Yep.
Every single one. So it's like, all these Porsche guys are always giving the Ferrari guys crap. I'm like, well, Ferrari guys at least don't come crying home to mama.
Yeah.
I don't know about the water cooled Porsche gang, but I know the air cooled Porsche gang are rabid, vicious.
Mm.
You don't want them on your tail, but I don't know how the water cooled gang react to people talking about their cars.
Oh, you still, yeah. Oh, I am gonna go to Barrett Jackson Scottsdale.
Oh, cool.
In fact, there's a Ferrari group out there. I don't know if they're FCA or just Ferrari group. I think it's FCA. They invited me to come give a talk.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna go give a talk on Wednesday, January 22nd, I think.
All right.
With this Ferrari group, and then I'm gonna go to Barrett Jackson Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Where's the talk?
It's I don't know. It's in my phone.
But like you're traveling to it?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Dan,
it should be interesting.
What's the topic? They give you one, or are you going to bring something?
No, they're like, oh, they're giving me different topic ideas, and I'm like, first of all, I'm like, am I really that exciting a person to talk about? Like talk about this stuff. Okay, sure, I will. But I was laughing because I'm like, man, the last time I had to do like a public speaking thing was back when I worked for permanent.org, and I was like, shit, that's been 6-7 years.
I mean, in fairness, though, you speak publicly into a camera, just as a smaller audience.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
But
Definitely not the same.
Yeah,
Just
don't.
walk on stage holding the camera.
Yeah, just start vlogging on the stage.
The good news is, like,
Hold
at
the
least
mic out.
At least this topic stuff that I'm really passionate about. And admittedly, when you're doing a speech for work, you're kind of like, okay, I have to. And those. So I had to give a speech at Stanford University, and I gave another speech at the University of Michigan.
Oh.
And the one at the University of Michigan was in front of an audience of like over 1,000 people, and so that was nerve-wracking. You're like, I don't like this. So
All right.
anyway,
yeah, you need to be introduced that way. I like that, Tommy.
What?
And here to talk about the nefarious activities.
yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute, weren't you all like car talk, and now you're back on the ball? See, I told you he likes the balls.
Yeah,
He's
drawn to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's rocking the ball jokes pretty good. So.
yeah, and definitely don't have to wear a suit and tie. I will. No, if they want me to give a speech and they're like, you need to dress up like that, no.
Yeah.
They got that's not.
Here's another ball joke from Hugh.
Yes, I know. I saw that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Man, you can put on a dress shirt, a tie, and cargo shorts. I think it would be split the difference.
What I need is like
shirt.
I need a Ferrari Bolo.
Ooh,
like a little Cavallino Bolo, and then
That's hilarious.
And then they'll want me to talk about Ferrari watches. Yeah. Like, all right.
Phone in, Josh.
I was joking. I was like, "Do you want to come, Josh?" He's like, "No, absolutely not." Anyway, so that'll be interesting. But if any of you are going out to the auction at Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale, I'll be out there.
I think I have to go out there for work like the week after that. So
we should come out early then.
I'll see.
I mean, I'm just gonna crash at my parents' house, so you could probably stay there for free.
Yeah, I was just told today, like, plan on being in Phoenix in the first week of February. Like, okay.
Okay. Well, I think that's 2 weeks later.
Oh, is that 2 weeks? Oh, well, shoot. Oh, that's right. January's 5 weeks, isn't it?
I think so. With your recent sale of your 599, what are your other? Well, we didn't sell a 599. My old 599 sold.
Old. Yeah. He's talking about your old cars, right? That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What are I'm assuming you're saying what other cars we have in inventory. So right now we have.
No. I think he wanted to know your other old cars, your 430 and 458.
Ones that I personally owned.
Yeah, that's how I took this, Brent. Is that how you?
Man, I don't know. I guess we need to do some clarification. Well, I can answer both those real quick.
Yeah, because you own the 599 outright yourself for a little bit. So
I did. So I own the 599. I own the 575. I own the 430 and the 458. So those are the Ferraris I personally have owned. I'm trying to think. I may have owned one or two others briefly while I was being shuffled around into the dealership, but okay, that's what he wanted. Okay, those are the four that I've owned personally. Yeah, there you go.
So, okay. So you know where the 430 and the 458 are.
Correct. Yep. So the 430 is still owned by our friend in Houston. The 458 is still owned by a friend in San Antonio. And then the 599 apparently just went to someone else. And then the 575, I think, is still owned by the dealership that bought it from me.
Oh.
Oh, no, wait. No, that's right. It went to Barrett Jackson and sold for like 105.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I remember. So Hoovie texted me right after it sold. He's like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, someone just stole that thing." I
Yikes.
was like, "Geez, I would have bought it back 10 times over at that price." Like, oh my
Yeah, for
god.
105. Holy cow.
Yeah, someone got fleeced because that. Yeah,
Yeah, they got.
like that's even below what it would have gone for as an F1 car
Wow.
by a lot. So
The live stream breaker trailer was fun.
yeah,
That was fun.
that was fun. We
Okay.
want to do that some more. These kind of midday things. Oh, someone on Instagram, you guys can't see it, but it said, "Yo, Dan, I emailed you back and forth about getting a 610-4. End up picking up a local 720S, but I wanted to thank you for the help." You're welcome.
Nice.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'd probably take a 720 over a 610-4. Nope, didn't go to the supercars thing at Coda.
What event was that?
I don't know. I didn't go to
Oh, you just know you didn't
It
go.
was last Sunday, I think.
Is that Extreme or Edge
I
Addicts?
think it was supercar
No,
lap battle or
was-
super lap battle or whatever it's called.
Supercar lap
it was
battle?
it was one of those 10 events after Edgetics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was a charity thing. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, no. Let's see. Good evening, gentlemen, and have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Although I don't know, gentlemen might be a bit lofty.
Yeah, that you're using too nice of words here.
You have talked to us on there, seen us talking, haven't you?
For dudes.
What's the best driver's car each of you has driven? Good question.
Pista.
My Miata. No, I mean my 360. I haven't scratched the surface of the amount of cars that Dan has driven. I don't know
Same.
about you, Tyler or Scott,
No.
but I've probably
I'm
driven
torn.
a couple dozen cars. A quarter of them maybe fun cars.
It might be the Scuderia.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's pretty awesome for a driver experience.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to drive on a track, I would say definitely the Scud. But like doing like back roads and twisty roads, I would prefer a manual, I think. So,
can see
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah. That's why I'd say the Pista. It's that good mix of like it's still insane, kicks you in the butt, but it's normal around 10.
Yeah. The only problem with the Pista is that it's so fast that like you're in arrest me territory everywhere you go.
Well, I'm used to that. I had a McLaren.
Yeah, I know, but honestly, it might be so I don't know if this would qualify as a driver's car, but I've said this over and over. I think my GT40 is the most exciting, fun car I've ever driven.
Yeah.
By like, it's not even close. It's not even fair.
Yeah.
But it's like the negatives of that car are so strong that it does outweigh a lot of the other experiences. Like, I mean, it's just so impractical, and it's but anyway. What do we think of the new 12 Cylindri? I want to see it in person.
Great.
Yeah.
It's slowly growing on me. Like at first I was like, and now I'm like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
The way Jeff spec'd his out is choice.
Yeah.
The vertical stripe just looks so good. It hides some of those weird body lines.
It does. I mean, I think I'm gonna like it in person. I just
I don't think about it, and that's the problem.
But I don't. But yeah, right. That is a problem. I think part of that's I don't
Good
think
problem.
about the 12-cylinder cars. Period.
Yeah.
Like they're never. It's funny because like I even when people like ask about Ferraris, or I forget that I owned 12-cylinder cars. Like I don't even like they're not even in the forefront of my brain.
Yeah. I loved it the moment that it debuted. There was no doubt for me. I loved it. There's something about a long hood and kind of rounded, like, James is in the chat. He's got that beautiful E-Type he let me drive one time, which was top I mean, I was about to answer a moment ago. My best driver's car was probably getting in that, even though he was
Oh, yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
too scared to do anything other than drive around the neighborhood. But that kind of long hood that you can only get with a front engine V12 car just had me. But what am I gonna do?
I love that too. But I just love the more, it's like the 360 for us, the smooth sweeping lines versus a lot of sharp, hard angular.
Yeah.
So for me, the F12 takes the cake.
Yeah. You see that. Yeah, it's true. I did drive a tank.
I want to go do that so bad. I
think
don't
you
care how much
mentioned
it
it.
costs.
It's actually awful to drive, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of nerve-wracking because you're like, this thing's massive and it's kind of a little bit intimidating. Actually, it's a lot of it intimidating, but yeah, it's thankfully it has an automatic transmission. Because oh my god,
Imagine the weight of the clutch on that thing.
yeah, right. Superformance does make really good replicas. Actually, we just had that Cobra
Yeah.
run through our shop, and dude, I really gotta get one of those.
Those are so gorgeous.
They're gorgeous, and I mean it's really kind of uncomfortable. Like to be clear, the GT40 is comfortable once you're in it.
Yeah.
That Cobra is not comfortable.
Really?
Like, it's not. Your feet are pushed really far to the left. The pedals are really awkward. And like you're basically like your arms like over the edge of the car. I mean, like I'm a bigger guy, right? So I barely fit in the damn thing as far as like width. It's got plenty of leg room. It's actually kind of surprisingly spacious, but it was super fun to drive. I mean, scary as hell though. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I never even came close to flooring it, and it was like, oh my, yeah.
Those look like some of the funnest cars to drive. I dream about those cars.
Yeah.
They're definitely next on my list. And backdraft racing is just 20 minutes from here. I see them all the time when I'm down that way.
That was what we had. The one that was through our shop was a backdraft.
They are nuts.
And they make very good cars.
Yeah. And even the ones that they've gone a step further with the body and put some vents and stuff in, they have done a model that's a little two-boy racer-ish. They've done a little too much. But there's one in the middle that they've tweaked just a little bit that just looks right. And if I ever get rid of that 360, that's one of the things I'll be.
Is that who to go to? Backdraft?
They're one of the
replicas.
They're one of the top for sure. Superformance and Backdraft are probably the best from what I've talked to.
Starting at 51.9.
Yeah, you can pick up used ones. That's the hard part about those cars. I've seen them as cheap as like 20 grand and as much as like 150 grand. And you're like, okay, what? So like the options and the engine and who built it and all this stuff make massive differences in price. So it's kind of hard to know what they're really worth. But I mean, I think if you're going to buy like a super beautiful one, super nice, high option, it's going to be close to 100.
Yeah. The problem with those too is you don't know who built them. If you buy the used one like if you're not getting a factory built one, and you might come across something that looks good, but really.
Well, and I'll tell you. So I went to the Texas Cobra meetup. I've been to a couple now because they're like, you can bring your GT40. It's a cousin, and it's funny because when you walk around, you can see the difference, and you see like some of this shit's hand built, and you see corners that have been cut, and like walking around, you're like, oh, this one's absolutely stunning. And then you look at the one next to it, and you're like,
I mean, we even saw that a little bit in Philadelphia. Like,
oh yeah,
with the GT40s. It was like, this one's rough.
Yeah, no, and that was like, you could tell when it wasn't a Superformance. You're like, like body panels moving around and like exposed wiring and shit. And you're like, I don't know about this, bro.
Crazy. They make one with the hard top.
Yeah, you can get the hard top.
Oh yeah,
Factory 5. That's the other one.
Yeah,
Factory 5. Yeah, that's it. That's the other one.
Gabe, there are a few companies. There's a company in Europe that makes hard tops for a couple of the kits that are out there, and they have gull wing doors. There's just, it's completely not original, but
Yep.
there's just something about that that looks so good. So
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna look
I like
that
this
up.
question. What's a car you have not driven but want to?
That one, the Cobra.
Like, seriously,
Seriously,
how?
I mean, like for real.
Yeah. Let's see.
So much easier for someone like me who hasn't driven that many versus like Dan, who's driven a ton of cars.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
like, I
the
would say that,
Speciale
like,
or Pista.
oh, yeah. Actually, I have not driven a Pista yet, and I would really like to.
Yeah, it's the one car I can hold over Dan. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jocko.
yeah.
Wow.
Damn it. Damn you, Chaco. I need to come fly up there just to drive your car.
Countach for me, but that's looking
Oh.
increasingly
Okay.
improbable. But that
You would not
it would be
fit
tough.
very well.
It would be difficult. I'm a taller guy, but
Yeah.
I know when I sat in the when Dan, you and I went around in that first Testarossa you had, I really wanted to get behind the wheel of it. One day I will, because those two are just still they're not the same class anymore, but they were when I was growing up, you know. So those two,
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Like in the Ferrari world, I'd love to try like a LaFerrari or the SP3.
Yeah, SP3 would be.
Because I would love to
Man.
try a mid-engine V12.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
The,
I mean, I guess I would gladly drive an F50 then as well.
Yeah, F50, F40,
On
the
Bonza.
Revington.
The Revington.
The final version Murcielago. Like,
yeah.
I love that car so much.
I haven't driven a manual Murcielago, but that will change shortly. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
I've driven the F40, and that was one of those where everyone says don't meet your heroes. I'm like, I'm glad I met that hero.
Nice.
It's not great, but it's fun. You know, it's an old car, but I'm super glad I got to drive it, and it was really exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, shit. There's a list of cars to be driven still is massive, right?
Yep.
Variety is the spice of life.
Alex said 959. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Hands down, 959. They're all the new cars, the 12 cylinder and SP90, all those things, like they don't grab me as much as the old ones do.
Right?
Because I'm not going to get on the highway and use that car for what it can do.
Right.
So I'd rather get in a car that has a lot of character, that is painful, probably stinks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I want to. That's what I would. So all the top cars on top of my list are old.
Yeah, a car
this is why the GT40 is so exciting to me. Is it's effort. It's rewarding because you do have to work at it, and it doesn't like you. When you drive that car, you are only worried about driving that car. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that adds Miura to my list. Like, I want to drive a Miura so bad.
Miura. Yeah.
Good one.
God.
Very good. Yeah, for sure.
Talk about the best looking car ever made. Like
it's up there.
Yeah.
I know you try. You know what they're going for right now?
Shaka.
About
How dare they laugh at you?
They're already at like 6.5 on the secondary market.
Whew.
I think, mark my words, that is going to be one of the great Ferraris, like that everyone wants. Because think about it, no hybrid system, mid-engine V12. Everyone pretty much seems to like the looks of it. So it's basically a LaFerrari without the hybrid, and it looks better. I mean,
yep.
I saw one in Miami just last weekend down at the Cars and Coffee. I think Curated brought it out, and it was like blue, navy blue with navy blue interior, and it sold me because I didn't like it only in pictures. But when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I can see that. It was really beautiful.
I got a good one for that. I don't know if it's the scariest, but one of the scariest was way back when I was still living in Michigan, and I was dating Megan, wasn't even married yet. So this is like over 20 years ago, or about 20 years ago. Actually, over 20 years ago. Yeah, shit. Okay. I was in my my 70 Chevelle drag car, and I was street racing. Yeah, no, real smart. And we were going, and somehow, and this thing had like the big balloon rear tires that you're running at like 7 psi or 5 psi, and the little tiny dinner plates up front. And someone cut me off while I was like on it full throttle, whatever. And so I had to crank the wheel to avoid them. And when you're cranking the wheel on a drag car, I mean, it's all over the road, right? Like it takes, and so I'm sliding it back and forth across both lanes, trying to regain control. And I finally regained control, and Meg was in the car with me. And I'm like white knuckled, like after I regained control, and she just slowly looks over at me and she goes, "You are never fucking racing on the street again." And I was like,
on the
yep.
street, meaning you can do it on the drag strip.
Yeah. I was like, yep, okay. I'm done.
I think, yeah, that's crazy. I think Jocko was responding to that question, saying, Dan, that's racing, right, Jocko?
Oh, yeah.
Basically, racing is you're on the edge thinking you're going to wipe out. And
no, he was talking about that came out before we started talking about that.
Well, I'll say then that's what racing is. You always think you're going to wipe out. Yeah. If you're not, you're going too slow.
That's true. Yeah, if you feel comfortable, you're not racing hard enough.
No.
Yep.
Which that's like hard on your heart.
That's why you do it in something that's manageable.
Oh,
cheap.
That'll make you pucker.
I mean, even being a passenger in the SF90 on Coda, when Jocko's 4-wheel sliding over turn 10, like catching air and then 4-wheel sliding all the way into the apex, like, yeah, okay, good to go.
I hate being passenger in a car on the track. I hate it. Like, and I know, like, it's funny because like, especially if you're with a good driver, they're going to be fine, pretty much.
Yep.
You hope, but it's like, it's still just like, oh, I just hate it because you're like pushing the imaginary brake pedal, and
it just had to be relaxed because, like, I know.
Yeah.
A, Jocko knows what he's doing, and B, he's more worried about his car than I am.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
He's not crashing.
I can't think of off the top of my head, but I know there's lots of other examples.
There's times on like black ice where spun around many times and stuff like that. But
yeah. And I'm trying to think of other pucker factor moments, but Code Browns. Surprisingly, knock on wood, haven't had too many like real. I've never crashed a car.
Yeah.
In my entire life.
Have you ever been in any sort of accident?
I've been a passenger in a car that's been in accidents. What
about your Mustang when you moved here?
I was not in it.
Oh, you weren't? Oh.
No, that was the shop crashed it for me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
I got hit. So I got hit when I was driving to California.
Yep.
That sucked. I got my STI got hit. When I owned that car, wasn't my fault. My pickup truck when I was a teenager got backed into. Again, I was parked, but I was in the car. It's one of those like you saw it coming. And I was like, no, hitting the horn. Oh, and then
that's like when I was in the California.
Oh yeah,
backed up into us.
Oh yeah.
Except I couldn't find the horn, so I was yelling.
Oh man. Oh, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
No
way.
That
what happened?
Shit.
Ooh,
at least you're here.
Scary.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
No thanks.
No, thank you. I've never been in a car that had the airbags go off or anything like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Or even I've never even had the seatbelt tensioners go off. So
you're lucky.
He was chasing a rabbit, and he.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, hate to tell you that 360 is probably not gonna be able to keep up with an F8 very well.
Yeah. Oof.
I was being the rabbit once, for a friend who was following me in a Corvette. I think it was a C6 Z06. And I'm like, oh, it was in my fourth, I think, was it 458 or 430? I can't remember. I think it was the 458. But I'm like, I'll drive it like, I was like, I'll throttle it down, right? And this was like his first or second time on the track. And he just didn't have the apexes right, was taking the lines all crappy, not following where he should have been. And I'm just watching my rearview mirror and I also see him come around the corner and just right off the road. I'm like, well, sorry.
Yeah. Some of those first hydroplanes in the GT40 in Tennessee were fun.
Those were pucker.
Yeah. Those ass sucking you into the seat like, whoa, hello.
Yeah. That made me pucker a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good times. Yep. Here, I'll change the subject. This is old. I held this up. Tommy, I actually was talking to someone connected to the Space Force earlier today. I'd love to go down with like a group of supercars down to SpaceX and get a tour. So
let's watch a rocket launch.
Yeah, that too. Like, I don't care about the miles. Let's do it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I want to do it.
So
I know it sounds absolutely idiotic, but I'm kind of wanting to do like a not super long, but a road trip in the GT40.
Yeah.
Just to say I've done it.
Yep.
Not because it's a good idea, because it's an awful idea. And the problem is I'd either have to go alone or we'd have to have another car.
Yeah.
Because I literally can't bring anything with me.
No.
It's crazy how little space there is in there.
There's zero space and there's zero trunk. So
you need a comfortable chase vehicle so y'all can just rotate.
Right. The other thing is, I thought about if I were to do a road trip in that car, I'd probably want to wear noise canceling headphones.
100%.
Because, like, even an hour long drive in that car, your ears are ringing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Wow.
Hey, the new Valkyrie comes with headphones.
Yeah, I saw Doug DeMuro's review of it.
Yeah.
That thing's insane. Those are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You got to be the true GT40 owner and just buy everything when you get to the spot you're going. Throw it away. Buy it again when you get home.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to go, like, I've seen where people will actually ship like luggage and stuff.
Yep.
Oh man, I don't know if you can hear that in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh,
I'm screaming.
My kid's definitely giving Meg a hard time tonight. Poor Meg. He's dude. This week's been brutal because he's all messed up on his schedule because of vacation.
Yeah.
And he's still not like he's just not going back on schedule. It's like brutal. I don't know what's going on. Like he just is. He's not falling asleep.
Wow.
Until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're like, oh my God.
It's a little swig of Benadryl. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Benadryl.
For yourself or for your kid?
Yeah.
Tyler's
right.
I use a little stronger stuff, but
oh man. Whew. So I did 12 hours at Shelby Cobra Daytona. Oh,
dang.
Oh.
That's tough.
How much weight did you lose?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a tough thing.
Yeah. Meg would murder me if I told her, hey, follow me in the truck. She hates that. She doesn't hate the truck. She hates driving the truck. She's finally like, it's funny. She's like, I really like the truck because it's comfortable and it's so practical. But it's huge and she hates huge vehicles.
Yeah.
So. Oh, if y'all want to do a road trip to see a launch, I can coordinate.
Hell yes. Sold. Sign me up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
I'm in.
I've heard some of the hotels and restaurants will for like $60 let you on the roof, and then you don't have to like stand on the beach with a bunch of hundreds of thousands of people, or hundreds or thousands, I should say.
What is the doll, Scott?
What doll?
The corner of the
one
TV.
next to TV.
I'm a child of the '80s. This was Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Oh yeah.
Billy Baloney.
Dang. I haven't seen that in
Yep.
forever.
Holy cow!
It creeps everybody out. That's why I have it out.
Hell yeah!
His name's Billy. So it's right there.
Hi, Billy.
Can I
It's
ship?
funny. He's the third or fourth person that's asked this entire thing before we
Yeah.
even know about it.
Can you ship close?
I don't know what you mean by that, Jacko.
We're in
Did-
Brownsville. Yeah.
Can he ship his car close to where you guys are going?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Austin.
There
Yeah, do the road trip with us.
you go.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Please.
Sure, we can
Thank you, Tommy.
figure out something.
Yes, I'm still talking to my Space Force contact as well. He's fairly high up, so
Nice.
see, and he has a McLaren, so we'll see.
Ooh,
Okay.
Backstage
Actually-
tour.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder. Loper's got his rental property.
Ooh,
Isn't that in South Padre? I think,
I don't know.
or is it Galveston?
Is he Port A, Galveston, or South?
It might. I don't know which one it is. It's one of those. But if it's still going to be, I don't know. We could
South-
see if
Yeah, South Padre is the place to be, but
yeah. We could hit him up and see if maybe we could rent his place for a deal or something.
hell yeah. Because that's the trick is like the last
Where to-
launch, there was like a 6-hour traffic jam leaving. So it's like you just have to stay there and get drunk.
Oof.
Like
Okay.
don't leave until the next day.
Well, that sounds fine. So there is one flaw with doing a road trip in the GT40. I don't have door locks.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
you don't.
It's
Maybe
more safe.
I could install like an alarm on it, but I don't think that's it. I mean,
It's not gonna stop Houston traffic.
You have a lockable cover, at least.
yeah.
You know, I mean, the steering wheel comes out, right?
The steering wheel. Well, so what I did when I went to the thing up in Pittsburgh, I just took the steering wheel into the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. I mean, they could still theoretically steal it by just putting it in the neutral and pop the parking brake and push it onto a trailer or something. But
Yeah, if it's parked with a bunch
Oh.
of supercars, it won't.
it's true. That's actually how you could do it. Is just park two cars reasonably close to it.
Yeah.
No one's getting in.
Yeah. That's the way.
And the other problem is it's not exactly watertight. So if it rains or weathers,
All right. So you need that cover, like Scott said, with the
Well-
lockable cover.
yeah. That's a true car guy.
I like
Right?
it.
Yeah.
So true.
We're asked. Well, I hate discussing prices on videos because then people will see it months later. So,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's published on our website. So, and it's only got it's not 15,000 miles. I think it's 12,000 miles. Isn't it? I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, go check out ngsupercars.com. There you can see the price and pictures and whatever. Yeah, popping the hood of the Viper is very secure.
Mhm.
Well, you know, the Gen 1 Vipers didn't have door locks either,
Wow.
or windows.
or windows.
Yeah. I mean, you could Velcro them in, I think, if
Yeah.
you bought that option.
I think they zipped in, didn't they?
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I just don't understand, Hugh, why you can't either take us with you or smoke inside. Like, this happens every time.
Oh my
At
lord!
least once.
You would get along super well with Casey.
Oh my god. Yes.
Dude, Monterey, I was impressed. I'm like, Casey, how are you ever not high?
No. That's the
Yeah, I
answer.
guess the answer is no. No. How rare? Oh, it's the 458 with the silver top. I can't define how rare it is. I know that very few of the 458s actually had a actual painted roof.
Hmm.
Like tons of them got wraps afterwards. but I don't know. I will tell you that it's one of the highest option cars we've ever had for 458s. I mean, it's a very high spec car. So we're blown away that it's not sold yet. I think, it does have a minor on the Carfax because it rear-ended someone, but it was like literally just a repaint, and they did a full PPF on the car, so you can't tell. I mean, it looks perfect, but not perfect. Very close to perfect because nothing's perfect.
Grigio Silverstone, or what color is it?
It's Grigio Silverstone roof. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it, but I don't love it.
No, it's been published for a while. You might have to refresh. I bet it's cached.
Yeah, I'm with you, Scott.
Just throws the lines off a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Here, I could probably just link it right here. There. Boom. Oops. Oh, crap. There. Is it there? Did that post? I think it posted
3 times.
Yeah. I hit enter and it didn't go, and then I hit enter again and then it didn't go, and then it seemed to go like 4 times.
I was doing all the different services. That's why.
Yeah, that's why it was taking a while. Oops.
Give my 360 and 20 cash. 20,000 cash. Deal. Done deal.
Out the door.
You'll move that 360. I know that.
What, you do your 360 plus 20? Oh, on the Testarossa?
Yes.
We're a bit off.
Keep a shot. Just fishing. See what happens.
It was a good shot. Good shot. It wasn't like block you on Facebook, Dad, but I made a mental policy that I no longer try and talk shit when people give me low balls, because what happened is one of the people that I like talk smack back to gave me a poor review and said I was a scammer. On Facebook. They reviewed me, and so now I can't I'm like, this person didn't buy anything from me, and like Facebook doesn't do anything about it. So now it's like on my history that I'm a scammer, and I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like, all right, I'm just not gonna piss people off. Like if they give me a shitty offer, I just say thanks, but no, or or I just don't respond if it's really far off, because it's a waste of time, Yep. But I did get low balls.
Nice.
Relevant.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Like no.
I had a guy. Okay, pro tip: if you're negotiating, and the first thing you do is say, "What's the lowest you're going to take?" First of all, you're never going to get the lowest number, and second of all, you're not buying that car. Literally, no one who's ever asked us that has ever bought a car from us.
Yeah,
because they're just fishing for some like stupid idiot or something. So this dude was like, "What's the lowest you'll take on that 458?" Like first thing he asked. And I said, "What's the highest you'll pay?"
That's a good question, actually. Like,
I'm like,
what do you want to pay?
Yeah, it's just as relevant. And he goes, 140. And I go, well, then we're never going to make a deal.
Smart.
So, okay. Nice. We're not even close. So, yeah. No, the balls are still there. They don't remove them in a vasectomy.
You can get
you have to pay extra for that.
That sounds way right? So I was looking at it, and man, I want to go back so bad, and trying to get a VRBO to make it make sense, and all the logistics and all that crap, and trying to convince like all you guys to pay me a bunch of money and blah blah blah. I'm just probably not gonna do it because I'm just getting tired of trying to be the cat herder.
Yeah, I've even tried to look at like Marriott has like houses and stuff too, and it's like none of it works. Like
it's so expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, basically, you're gonna spend $1,000 a day per person.
Yep,
for anything.
It's nuts.
Sorry,
I mean,
Jack.
it's fun. It's fun every 2-3 years. but yeah,
it's hard because there's no ROI. Like if I could do it and make money doing it for the business, it'd be more tempting.
so we need sponsors and some exclusive thing there that you get first rights to publish.
Yeah, like if there was a sponsor that was like, oh, we're gonna pay for something or whatever, or if like my videos actually made any money,
Yeah.
but they don't. So yeah, I mean the other option is you stay really far away, but then you're driving in traffic every day, and we did that the first time and it sucked.
Yeah.
It got exhausting because then you've been driving around all day long and you're going home at like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night and you're just spent. And then you got to get up really early the next morning to get back into town to
That's fair.
repeat. It's just
You were cranking out those videos last year.
Dan was
Yeah.
working, man.
It did. We got way better views than the previous year.
Yeah.
So
We all were having fun outside, and Dan was inside working.
oh,
Yeah, I was
dude,
like, wow, he must be putting in a lot of time.
He was.
that was
based on how
rough. 'cause
fast they were
I'd be
coming out.
sitting there and they're all like getting drunk and smoking bowls, and I'm just sitting here editing and
Dad.
editing.
Working.
We could yell at you every once in a while.
Yeah, well, actually, you guys were nice. You'd come by and be like, here's another beer. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
we
that.
keep you lubed up. It's all good.
Yeah. Amelia Island's nice.
Yeah,
I had,
Amelia's much cheaper.
Yeah.
they invited me to put my Trans Am in the first Radwood they had there. Radwood royalty, no doubt.
Nice.
And so I got my way in there and had a really great time that weekend.
That I've been meaning to do that. I also want to do Cars on Fifth in Naples.
Oh yeah, I was just
Yeah.
looking that up. That's February 8th.
I'll meet you there.
God, see, that's the problem is there's all these things that hit right in the start of the year, and I'm already committed to Scottsdale, and I can't like. There's no way Meg's gonna let me do like 2, 3, 4 events. Like no, she'll just be like, no.
Has the Palm Beach one happened yet, Scott? The one at the Breakers?
Yeah. Yeah, not too long ago. I could be wrong. I believe it was in October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Dan, you can come stay here. We can drive to Naples. Cut
Yeah,
some expenses out if you have the time.
it's the time part that's hard, right?
Yeah.
That's the trick. If only. Oh well. But yeah, since I'm already doing Scottsdale, I can't do Cars on Fifth. I can't do Amelia Island because that's also isn't that also in February? I think.
No, the Cavallino Classic is January 23rd to 26th. That's one in Palm Beach celebrating Ferraris. You could do that. Oh, you're going to be in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Florida says it's the 12th, though.
Which?
The Cavallino.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bigger event. It's multiple days, right?
Oh, okay.
So Amelia is. Oh well, Frankenstein is in March. The Cavallino's in January.
Okay. Because, yeah. Oh well. There's a lot of stuff that happens at the start of the year, and it's hard to figure out what to do.
I mean, we really want to do Alaska in January or July, right?
What, me?
Hell yeah.
No. Oh, July 4th.
Yeah.
We'll launch a car.
So I can't this year.
Oh no.
Damn it.
Kids.
Because it's funny, my family is going to visit my sister in June.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you should come too, Dan. And I'm like, after our last experience flying this last time with Turkey Man, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready for 8 hours of flying
Fair.
with him. Like, not yet. Not quite. Maybe in a year. So, because that first flight was brutal. Dude, he cried for 45 minutes straight. We were those parents that everyone's looking at, and we're just like trying our best. And
Do you have chocolates and earplugs for people?
Little gift bags.
it was Southwest, so we purposely shoved ourselves in the very back of the plane, so that we could, and it was just,
Yeah.
it was so weird because, anyway, that sucked. But, geez, time flew again.
Yep.
Toodles,
does.
Mariano. I didn't go back to that event, JS. I didn't
Which
want
one?
the one in right outside of Boston. It's like the big
Oh.
Italian.
Oh.
It's a cool car show once you're there, but the drive there was brutal through Boston. I made a
Oh.
video about it last year. I was hitting potholes, getting like people were coming up to me as I was driving, trying to talk to me. I was like, just get away from me, people.
While driving, like
While driving, like, yo, is that stick? Like trying to slow me down, like have a conversation. I'm like, dude,
Yeah. I don't know if it's parenting and Ferrari is not good. I would say it's parenting and trying to like jet set
Yeah.
bad.
Run a jet setting business.
Yeah. Like you got to balance. It's the travel part that, being gone for extended periods of time that are kind of challenging. Because admittedly, like you need breaks, right? Like, she does a shift, I do a shift, we can trade on and off, so that way no one gets murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, this is coming for you, Gabe.
I know. I'm like trying to block my ears here.
Yep.
Yeah. It's good.
I expect it to be harder than anything I've ever done, and I'll find out when it happens.
The one of the back before when I didn't want kids, one of my good friends was like trying to convince me to have kids. People always do that. It's weird. But he did say one argument that really rang true, and I think it's still true. And he said basically, because I was like, it sounds like it's so much work, and why would you want to commit yourself to that? And he said, well, think about all the things you've done in your life, and the things that are the most challenging are the things that you're the most proud of, right? When you succeed. And he's like, multiply that by like 1,000, and that's what it is to raise a kid. It's the most challenging by far, but it's so much more rewarding than anything else you could ever imagine. And I'm like, oh, when you put it that way, it's pretty.
Yeah.
So don't fuck it up, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's right. The stakes are high.
Yeah.
Like that's
All I know is whenever any of my friends that have had kids call and be like, I need to talk to an adult. Can you come over and drink with me? It's like,
Yeah.
Yep, I'll be right over. Like,
Yeah.
I understand.
You're a good man.
Definitely
Tyler.
moments.
Like you're talking to a child
Well,
for
I can tell you
hours.
right now, as soon as I get out of here, it's gonna be like, give Meg the tap out, be like, okay, you go.
Yep.
And I'm tapping in.
Damn, one day you're going to go to sleep and wake up and it's all going to be the kid's going to be grown and
I know, right?
they're going to be asking for money or borrowing the keys to the car. It's like it happens so fast. You hear
Borrowing.
that, you're that, and then you're like, yeah, sure. But then when you have the kids and it happens, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, it really does go quick.
So
Wow.
you don't know my wife. That's not even that's not true. That's a false statement right there.
Meg likes doing reviews every once in a while. Not
Yeah, that's
for a week
that
solid.
would be like a form of torture for her. I mean, she would rather be waterboarded. All right, guys, it's past 9:30. Appreciate everyone joining us. I think we're still gonna try and do a live next week because Christmas is Wednesday.
All right.
So,
Let's do it.
yeah, I don't know what else is going on. I'm gonna try and I got a couple other videos I'm trying to get lined up for you guys. But anyway, appreciate it all, and
Yeah, Merry
see you
Christmas.
guys
Yeah.
probably next week.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for
Merry
being on.
Christmas. Yeah, if you celebrate it. Bye.
If you don't, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.